Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And for this video or episode, we are just going to continue where we left off from our last episode in Next.js tutorial number 12. So if you are ready, then let's get started. So I am now on localhost 3000 again, and let's click this sign in button so that we will be redirected to our sign in form. And there you go. There is our sign in form. Right now, this sign in form, if I type name at example.com and enter the password as well and click the login button, what will happen is we are still staying in the same page, the login form, and we just have received this email sent message. What we want to do is that if we click this login button, we should be redirected to default page like a dashboard or a settings page. Now, back in our VS Code editor, let's create here two directories. The first one is the protected and the second one is the settings. We just have to add p here so that they will be created simultaneously. I'm sorry, we have syntax error here. To be able to fix that syntax error, we need to wrap protected with single quote. And let's try again. And there you go. That is now created. So we can check that here. It should inside in the app, and you can see here there is a protected directory with the settings also as a subdirectory here. Alright, and inside the settings, let's create a new page.tsx. So let's wrap this again with single quote. Let's open it, and here you go. There is our settings page.tsx. And so just like what I'm always doing, I'm going to move this to the new window. Why I'm doing that? Because I don't like seeing the main editor too big in my end. Now let's make this our settings page. The purpose of this is that I mentioned earlier, when we click the login button, we will be redirected to a dashboard or a settings page. So what we're going to do here is to create a settings page where the page that we will be redirected to. So we can use client here, and let's define a constant settings page and export that settings page. And inside the curly brace, let's return in JSX div, and we can just pretty sure you are seeing the guide there from the Gemini AI. Most of the time I like to type settings page, but it's good to have this so that you have an idea what you are going to do next. So here let's type p, and this is the settings page content. And since it is inside our app protected settings, it will go back in our login page, and let's update the URL. We just have to visit the settings for us to test if we can visit that page. Okay, so what happened is that we are redirected back to the login form when visiting the settings page. That happens because in our middleware, we have these conditions here. API route. If we go inside our API prefix, what is public routes, what is allowed only to be visited in public routes is the landing page of the authentication for the localhost 300. Sorry, not localhost 300. but localhost 3000. The reason why we will be redirected back to login form when visiting the settings page is because we have set up our middleware here. We have some checks happening. If is it an API route, is it an authentication route, or the user is logged in, or if the user is not logged in and is not public route, then the user will be redirected to the login page. So this is the one that captures the URL settings. The user is not logged in and the route is not public. Therefore, the user is redirected back to the login page by this one. So for us to be able to visit settings page, we can comment this for the moment and type in return here, and let's go back to our login page, and in the URL bar let's type settings, and there you go, we can visit our settings page because we just returned there. Okay, that's what we need. We now have a setting page for the user to be redirected to this page if they are successfully logged in into the system. The next thing that we are going to do is to open the auth.ts file. And in here, we already have auth function and handlers. We need also to call the sign in and sign out function. And the next thing that we are going to open is the login actions. Let's move that there, and we are going to improve the logic that we have here in this login action. Right now we have this two objects to be returned, an error or success. So I'm going to comment this for the moment, and let's define a constant here, an object that holds an email and the password properties from the validated that data. So after being safe parse here, then we will extract the email and password, and let's process that inside a try catch statement. Since we already extract these functions from nextauth here, then we can use this sign in and our login.ts. So let's do that. Response await sign in, and the sign in accepts two parameters, credentials and an object. Okay, and we can say there is a suggestion here, email, password and redirect. Basically that's what is needed, so we need to do that as well, the password and redirect to. There should be redirect settings. So the sign in function will accept the email and the password and where to redirect the user, which is in this case we choose to redirect to settings page. And the sign in here is complaining, that is because we did not import sign in from auth.ts. So we're going to click this and add import, and there you go, the sign in is now imported from auth.ts. Now that we have that, then if the response that error, if there is an error in the response, then we return error response, else return success login. But in our form, login form here, we are using rest success and rest error. These are the string that is required to be passed into this state. So the required is a string and or undefined, or string undefined for error and success. So in this case here, we need to match this. The error should be string, so we can do something like invalid credentials. Okay, so here, if the error is an instance of auth, this one, auth error, then we return error invalid credentials. Or if the error is related to code execution or anything that happens in the server, then we can return something went wrong. Return a generic message, error, something went wrong. Oops, this is an error. Just like that. And I'd like also to add some log here. For us to know where the execution happened in the code. So here we need to add a message signing in, and here error, or we can say error, and in here we need also to add some log error. We can do the same as what we did above, an error. Here error 1, error 2, and error 3. So that's it for now. I think we can test this in the authentication page in the browser. So let's go there. And I think if I'm going to enter it again, we will be redirected to login form. There you go, we are. And then let's test first the invalid credential. Example.com password. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. That means it returns this one. So the error is not about an authentication error. It's something else beyond the verifying of authentication credentials. And the reason for that is because in our authconfig.ts we need to configure this authconfig. So let's remove this GitHub, and here we need to add an object inside an array. This object is to be passed into credential sign in. Sorry, credentials. And here we are going to authorize with the parameters credentials, and this is a function. It has an error because we need to import credentials from nextauth providers / credentials. And here, these credentials, we need to validate it using our login schema that save ours, and put it inside a variable, and if not validated that success, not validated but instead validated. So if successfully validated the credentials, expected of what? So if validated success, then we extract the email and password from the validated that data. And once we have this two information, we will be using the email. If the email exists in our database, then we will proceed on comparing the password. So let's define here a constant user, which is equal to await get user by email and the email, and if there is no user, or why I'm doing that, there is no, and if there is user but there is no password, then we have to return null. Now if it passes to this argument, there is a user or there is a password, then we need to evaluate the password. Constant is valid, await bcrypt. So we're using bcrypt compare to compare the given password with the user password in the database. It's valid, and if it's not valid, then we return null, else return the user successfully logged in. Now let's remove some import that is not needed here. We can click this to remove import. Login schemas, this is complaining because schemas is inside the schema, and this one is inside at data slash user. And there are a lot of complaints here. Email, it says here this kind of expression is always truthy, no value exists in scope. I don't see some errors here, but the VS Code checker is always complaining. Now let's move on. Return null by default, and I believe that's it. We need to go back here in our login actions, and let's improve some of the lines here. If the error is an instance of auth error, then it will have an error dot type, which is equal to credential sign in. And if it is the issue of credential sign in, then we can return invalid credentials, else we return something wrong, and down below we just have to throw an error. So we're doing this just in case that the error is not an instance of authentication error, so maybe that error might be different from authentication error, so we need to throw that here. And here in the settings, if we go back to our routes.ts, we have this constant, so we can use that constant here. And from that, I think we can test now the functionality in the browser. Unexpected token authorize. So let's fix that. Okay, so the issue of unexpected token authorize is because I am using await instead of async. So now that I changed this to async, most of the error are now gone. bcrypt, we need to import bcrypt from bcrypt. My editor did not detect the bcrypt package, so we need to import the bcrypt from bcrypt package. Credentials, there's still a complaint here. Parameter credential implicitly has any. Another issue here is that credentials, it says here, just leave it for now just like that. Let's put here a console log so that we will know what type is the credentials. Has no exported member credentials. That is because it is not a name variable, it is a default. So there you go, most of the complaints are now gone, so we don't have to do this as well. And that's it. And here we already have made an improvement. Error does not exist. Really, it does not exist. And we can remove now this one, And I believe we can now test this again in our browser. And as you can see, we are back on the something went wrong. So let's resubmit again this information and let's see what we can have. And there is another error that we encountered. So I investigated the issue and I found out that it's because of the bgrep. Previously I'm using bgrep, now I'm using bgrep.js and types bgrep.js. It seems that bgrep has an issue when authenticating the credentials. So since I am now using bgrep.js, I also updated. I have also updated some files wherein I import bgrep from bgrep.js, now import from bgrep.js. So from that, we can now test this again in our browser. So here, you can see the error is now gone. And let's type in an email that is not existing in our database. Let's type an error, example.com, and password, hit login. And if you notice, there is a delay of the response because it is verifying in the database if the email exists, and since it is not, then we receive an invalid credentials. But if I'm going to use name, since this is the email that was recorded in the database, we can expect that we will be redirected to the settings. So let's hit login and we should be redirected to the settings page. If we go back again to auth/login, we should be redirected again to the settings page. And there you go. It is now working. Cannot find module. I think the reason that the editor is complaining cannot find module is because I installed bgrep.js using npm instead of pnpm. And the reason why I installed that way, because when using pnpm, there is a complaint there that some CSS is missing. But when installing it using npm, it fixed the problem. So let's just leave that as is for now. And we have already seen earlier that we can successfully log in and we are redirected to the settings page. So there you go. That's the purpose of this video. We have written a functionality that allows the user to log in into the system. And for the next video, we will continue on adding more functionalities like logout and other stuff. So thank you for watching and stay tuned and see you in my next video.